So this means you await the 10 plus stars. The only thing that we'll need to change is instead of saying Biirai, Biirai, you'd say Biirai, Biirai. Biirai, 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 Biirai. Biirai, 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 Biirai. And that is good. There's always a moment, YouTube, when you look at your life and you say, yes, I'm doing the right thing because I'm making conlangs with a bunch of people on the internet. And for me, that moment is now. So let's make our lives better and let's conlang together, shall we? Let's scoop me over into the, oh wait, I just remembered. I have to thank some people. You can never avoid thanking people. Or you can never really thank people enough, is what I should say. Patreon. The amazing people on Patreon have really made this possible. So I'd like to thank them here. And other than that, I'm going to just scoot on in, zoop, over to the side, and here we are. Let's go. So we have our first few sentences in this language. I move, sitim now, and I move you, sitiman now kaurin. What's going on here? So first of all, we have the root meaning to move, which is sitim. We then have a cliticized pronoun, which we've glossed as one newt. What does this mean? This is the neutral pronoun now. Now is used when you're talking to someone who is on the same level in the great chain of being, the 5 noun classes of this language, which go from A to E. If you're a human talking to another human, you are on the neutral plane with respect to each other. You're speaking across, and so you use now and kaurin. If you are a human speaking to a deity, you would use sawi and biirai or biirai. If you are a human speaking to an animal or an object, you would use satan and tim as your pronouns. So satan first, and you would refer to the animal as tim. All right. So that's what's going on here. So we have sitim now. This implies that I'm saying this to another person. Sitim now, I move. Then we have the second sentence, sitiman now kaurin. So what's going on here? We have 2 forms for each of the first and second person pronouns. One is the independent form, which is used basically everywhere except for where the dependent is used. Where's the dependent used? It is used after a verb, so as the subject. So subject of verb or possessor of noun. So here, because now is the subject of the verb in both of these, we use the cliticized form, the dependent form, sitim now, sitiman now. We use the independent form for the object of the verb, kaurin. So we get kaurin instead of kin. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Yes, so far I believe we are sticking with nominative accusative alignment for the proto-language. Or at least for this language, this is going to be the ancestor of some future languages and the descendant of some past languages. We are not sure where it fits in the timeline yet. Although we do know, for those of you who haven't seen this yet, we do know where in the world it fits. It is spoken somewhere in this big red zone here, which is a big hot desert in the middle of this continent. So this is the homeland of this language. Let's scoot back over here. Sitim now, sitiman now kaurin. There's one more thing to talk about, which is this suffix an, which is used because the root sitim on its own, it's an intransitive root. It doesn't take an object, so if you want it to be able to take an object, you have to suffix this an to it. So sitiman now kaurin. And those are the first 2 sentences in the language. We did have a little sentence that we started before, the biirai sentence. Let's see what we can make of this. We have to change 1 or 2 things. So this means you await the 10 plus stars. The only thing that we'll need to change is instead of saying biirai, biirai, we'd say biirai, brai. Biirai, brai, biirai, biirai. Biirai, brai, biirai, biirai. And that is good. Okay. Let's keep going. So there are some roots which are like sitim, which are on their own, they're intransitive. So this means to move, movement. And as a noun, it would be in class E because it's an abstract noun. What else do we have? We need something that's by default transitive. Let's see, do we have any? Protect, auri. So if we wanted to say, I protect you, actually, to be honest, await is also a good example. Let's stick with await for a second. So if you just want to say you are waiting, how would we do that? We'd use this biirai again, but we need to attach something else to biirai, another suffix, which is like a detransitivizing suffix. What could we use for that? So we used an for the transitivizer. Maybe we could use something like biirai. What do we have? Something with S maybe. I want a little us. Is. I think is. Biirais. Biirais brai. So this is an intransitivizing suffix that's used on roots that are by default transitive. Okay. So we have a few sentences here. Sitim now. Sitiman now kaurin. Biirai brai biirai biirai. Biirais brai. Oh no, but we can't have is. No, we can't. Ugh. I've done it again to myself, haven't I? Maybe eat then. Biirait brai. And maybe on its own, when it's after a vowel, we lose that e. Biirait, biirait brai. And then we have our little bit extra biirait. Okay, Chorizo asks, could this language feasibly be an abjad? Yeah, I think it could be. It definitely could be. I could see that working. Echo's asking, could adding modifiers to sitim, like a word for hand to specify hand movement, like a prefix? Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is like, this came up on Friday, didn't it? This kind of idea. Something like this. Sort of like a determinative that says what type of movement in this case. Yeah, maybe it would be something kind of like noun incorporation. So we need a word for hand. Do we have a word for hand yet? No. All right, well, we need a word for hand, that's for sure. We have a few words that are hanging out here without names. Minki can be hand. Oh, I like that. Okay, minki. Do we have an etymology for minki? I want to make sure that it gets put down here in case we do. So then what would I move my hand? What would that look like? It could look something like this. So, minki sitim now. Minki sitim now. I kind of like that. Oops, I forgot an I on here. Minki sitim now. Foot can be papa. Very good. So then we would have something like papa sitim now. I move my foot. Papa sitim now. The only question is, would we need to transitivize these in order to give them the object? That's an interesting question. I think if this is manner incorporation, okay, I need to do some Googling. That's not what I was hoping for. This is one of the papers that I was looking at for the Let's Read Together, Let's Research with Me. That was what it was called. Verb-based restrictions. So let's see if this tells us about manner. Oh, this is awesome. Te fiesta mi iban. All right, so I think then we will not need... I'm just thinking about this because Max just pointed out, what would I move it with my hand be? And it actually, this is manner incorporation. This is an object incorporation. So you would do something like minkisitama now, and then it. What kind of it? Maybe an inanimate object. That would be do. So we have this really great sentence, minkisitimman now do. Why is the Sparsh is asking why is the object affixing before the verb? Shouldn't it affix after, since the language is verb initial? I think in noun incorporation, usually you get it showing up before the verb. I would have to defer to those who have researched that specifically. But VSO languages are typically analyzed as, well, I don't want to say typically. VSO languages are often analyzed as underlyingly SVO languages that have had the verb move up to the front. And if in noun incorporation the object also moves up with the verb, then you get this object verb or noun incorporated verb first. So minkisitim would be interpreted as I move using my hand. So it's the hand that moves. Okay. Quanti, yes. Okay, thank you. That's what I was waiting for. I missed that on the first round, and I was hoping to hear who had suggested it again. And if I've missed anyone else, please let me know, and I will fix it. Although technically this is meant to be sort of like the etymology of the word. I'll put this down here. So I'm assuming Minky doesn't come from Quanti, but I'll put in suggested by. And maybe sitim, maybe we would make it so sitim is not sayable on its own. It always has to have some sort of a manner incorporated body part. Maybe that would be kind of cool. That's something to think about. Okay, moving on. I move it with my hand. What else do we want to do? I think I wanted to add some... I wanted to do an example sentence with auri. So let's play with our pronouns a little bit more. Let's say this is a god speaking to humans. I will protect you. So we would need the proud set. So Satan, san, and team. So protect is auri. Sorry, the stress in this language should be initial, but my mind is having a hard time with it, especially with these long vowels. So auri-san. This is protect one. Let's say proud. You, team. And if we wanted to make this plural, we would use auri-san timira. Auri-san timira. And we don't have tense in this language, we have aspect. So we get something like this. Auri-san timira. I will protect you. Oh yeah, I like that idea. So we have a verb to move, which is manner, and then we'd have a verb to move in a direction. I wonder what that would be. Quanti is asking, can we have a suffix for living things and a suffix for non-living things? I think this gets at a really interesting thing that we have not done yet, which is we had said that our gender system is going to be semantic and formal. So far, we've only looked at semantic. So let's look at formal gender. How could we make this gender system a little bit formal? Okay, this means we have to pay attention to some aspect of the noun. Maybe anything that ends in I gets attracted to gender A, or anything that ends in E gets attracted to gender C. That could be a potential angle. So even though you're not an animal, if you end in E, like sui C, then you're going to be put into gender C just because you have that E ending. Maybe something like that. Or if you get the honorific marker on you, then you automatically go into A, into the gods. So let's see if we can use, okay, we have the word for songbird, bai. So songbird, and here we're using ira as an honorific. The songbird, what else? Marinuk, sing. So we have Marinuk bainira. So now this fact that this has ira on it means that it goes into gender A. Although how do we express this? Oh, I know what we could do. We could use let's say our sentence is, you sing, songbird, honored songbird. So then we would have something like, to humble, because we have ira on the songbird, it's migrated all the way up into gender A, or noun class A, which means that we have to then use this biirai as the pronoun. So you sing, and because we are a mere human, then we will use biirai before the songbird, which has now gone into noun class A. Does that make any sense whatsoever? I don't know. All right. Okay, so I'm going to catch up on the chat now. We have suggestions for prisu, for the movement. I'm also going to put in pransik and bilastu, although I think we have to go to birasitu. Dangerously close to biirai there. Birasitu. Okay. Max is asking, can we have some words or phrases that reference like hydrate and stretch? Yeah, sure. Let's see if we can adopt hydrate and stretch. So hydrate, and stretch would be something like sitraid, something like sitraidzi. Hydraitan sitraidzi. Hydraitan sitraidzi. Quanti, we do not have vowel harmony as of this stage of the language. Just, yeah, no vowel harmony yet. We might evolve some in one of the descendant languages of this, of Biirai. I think we can officially call this Biirai now. I think there's really no other contender for the name of this language. There we go. It is now Biirai. So Eidreit, I think, should mean something like drink. Is that too transparent? Maybe it could be something like to rest. I always take a break to rest and hydrate and stretch. Or to rest. And then sitraidzi, what could this be? Here's what I'm thinking. I want Eidreitan sitraidzi to be a sentence. We already have this transitivizer here. So transitive. To visit a desert oasis. Okay, I like this. To why don't we have this be arrive and then this be oasis? So I don't know if I get the right meaning there. Arrive. Yeah, if I put the transitivizer on arrive, what does that become? I feel like that becomes make someone arrive. I don't know. I'll need to ponder that a bit. But we nevertheless have this lovely sentence. Eidreitan sitraidzi. Maybe something like no. Okay, even better. Biirai tan si, it arrives at an oasis because si is the third person pronoun for noun class si. Oh, hey, I just noticed. Si. That wasn't intentional. Biirai tan si traidzi. It arrives at an oasis. I don't mind that. I don't mind that one bit. Oh, Max asking how we are going to do commands, imperatives in Biirai. I don't know. Let's figure it out. So we need to start on some adpositions. So let's look back at our grammar brief. We are going to have prepositions. So we need a few prepositions. I think we need some kind of basic at, in, on style thing, like a locative marker. We can make these, we can break these out as we go, but I think we need a few. We need a to, we need a from. We probably need a with, like a comitative, and we need a with instrumental. I think this should be good. All right, so then let's make these pretty short. What do we have? Let's go one syllable and let's generate and see what we get. I like moon. I like maybe something like moon for this instrumental with. Zeke from. I saw that in the chat from Sam. Let's see what else we can do. Let's put ourselves, maybe something like ku for to. For at, maybe something like try. And for with, maybe something like wa. Ooh, I see zout coming. We need to give that a home. Maybe this can be without. Taga saying make to zra. Zra. All right, why not? Zra. Chorizo, we haven't used g enough. Let's make to gu instead of ku. I'm seeing more suggestions for word shapes. Sitan. Yelent. We don't have any e's. So we could do yai. Yairanti. That's probably the easiest that we can. Girao. Love it. Okay. So we have a few adpositions. We can extend that inventory soon. We wanted to talk about tense, aspect, mood. Now we know from our brief that we don't have tense, no tense, but we do have aspect. We have perfective, imperfective. So how are we going to mark this? I think by default we want imperfective, and we would have a perfective marker. Let's get a one syllable perfective marker. I see chorizo. Yeah, chorizo, I agree. What is not used very much? Let's use it for our perfective marker, shall we? Let's do a CVC for this. Maybe something like war or wan. Yeah, wan. That works. Perfective. And where is this going to be? I think it's going to be sentence initial. So something like if we have a perfective here, I forget what the official, not that there's really any agreement on these things, but I think that's the perfective, the standard, the Leipzig glossing convention for a perfective, I think. Wa naori-san timira. And something like, I have protected you. wan auri santimira. Sam's saying we should have an aspect, like a copula that can give us more nuanced meanings. Let's see. We have one in here somewhere. We have suttun. So we can use that and have it be used in our aspectual system somehow. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sparsh has answered Thomas already. For completed actions regardless of the internal structure. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Okay. So we have this. Let's play with some of our adpositions. Let's see. Let's say the white owl is on a rock. So we have something like, we need a locative verb thingy here. Locative, we have a definite article needed. Owl white, and then on rock. So what do we have here? We have white, saini. We have owl, siyuri. Siyuri saini. Where's rock? I saw it somewhere around here. There it is. Trusa. So zra trusa. I feel that zra might be a little heavy for our locative. Put it down to za. The white owl. Oh, we need what's our definite article? Do we have a definite article yet? We don't. I feel like we did. No, we don't have it. I'll have that waduri. Okay, what do we need? We need. Am I missing this? Did we not come up with an article? I feel like we did. Art. Okay, we have B and Zai. So we have the definite owl. Zai siri saini, zatrusa. On a rock. Zabitrusa. Zai siri saini zabitrusa. And then we need. Trusa has some connotations for our Scandinavian friends. Well, what can you do? And what are we going to use for this locative verb, this to be at? Do we have anything for that? I don't think we have. Maybe we can use nawa to be used for this. Or maybe we don't need a special locative copula. Maybe we can just have a verb to be, That's been done. Let's put it here. Let's use nawa if Noah doesn't mind. This is what we could use. Nawa zai siuri saini zabitrusa. Nawa zai siuri saini zabitrusa. So I think a language that you giggle every time you hear is not the worst thing in the world. And you'll never forget the word for rock. A tribute to Moon Truther, by the way. Okay, what else do we need? The white owl's on a rock. Nawa zai siuri saini zabitrusa. I think I'm coming up to the end of my mental acuity here. I think I might just come talk to you for a few minutes. So I'm really enjoying these. I'm really enjoying this language quite a bit. Am I saying? Is my Norwegian pronunciation unexpectedly good for that one word only? Maybe. Don't read anything into that. I'm just applying the principles of the IPA. Oh wow. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just fold this segment into the last one and just chat for a few minutes. So I'll say goodbye to YouTube here and say thanks for joining us, YouTube. We will see you next time. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. We've learned that I know more Norwegian and more Swedish than I perhaps thought. All right. So we will see you next time.